to Unapologetically Fierce with Faythe, brought to you by CKJ Live. This is a safe place where my beloved tribe members and I put anything and everything on the table and dish the unfiltered tea. We are not just a podcast, we are a movement. So get your favorite beverage on hand and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. My name is Faythe, and I would like to welcome you to Unapologetically Fierce with Faythe and a few of the members from my tribe. This is a safe place where we put anything and everything on the table and dish the unfiltered tea. I would like to welcome Kerri, Myrna, and Tamara. Hey, ladies.
Hey. Hi, ladies.
And I'm really excited about today's episode because the last 4 weeks, we've been talking about relationships and how to create healthy relationships. And we've done all the aspects of dating, the fuckboy, courting, marriage, and divorce. So now we get the fellas. We have some fellas in the house with us tonight, and they're about to answer some thought-provoking questions that we've all chosen. And that will finish up our series on relationships. They are also very special because they're fellow alumnus of the best university in the land and went to school with Kerri and I. So that's an added plus. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Ooh. Hey, guys.
And we have Arkiem, Jamall, and Alaric. Thanks again, fellas. So I'm going to start off, and the first episode that we had on this series was about dating and quote unquote the fuckboy. But I thought that I would share a little story, excuse me, about that. And that will just kind of like go into the question. I remember, the first question that will lead me into my first question. I remember a few years ago, I was kind of like just kicking it with somebody. And he was like, we go together. And I'd never heard that. I'm like, we go together? Like, I had no clue. So a lot of times, men and women are not really on the same page when it comes to dating. And it's like, okay, don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. And it was just like, he kept on saying, we go together. And I'm just like, okay, that's news to me. Like, really, like, aren't there steps? Aren't they, something like, isn't there something else? And then I was kicking it with somebody else like years later. And he said what it was. And he was just like, he basically introduced himself like, hey, I'm a fuckboy. And, you do what you may. So my first question is, how do you define dating? And this is to all the guys.
When you go out with a woman and you spend your money.
Really? Arkiem, can you introduce yourself? Like, I forgot to introduce you guys. I'm sorry, I didn't say.
Yeah, no, I'm Arkiem. My friends call me Rock. I went to Clark. I have a podcast too. If you are so inclined, it's called The Rockcast. You're more than welcome to listen to it. You and everyone here would be the first person to listen to it. Doesn't get a lot of people. I think when you define dating, I define it.
Are you married, single?
Well, it depends when this is coming out. Right now, I am married.
How many years?
This show might air in December. Who knows?
Oh, boy.
But
how many years have you been married?
13.
That's awesome.
You're better man than me, homie.
So, listen, dating, I think, is when you go out with someone and you are taking them out because you want to have some type of intimate relationship.
No, when you're dating, dating, man, I got multiples. I got to move around in a few circles so I can figure out what it is that I like. I'm not even a date with one. I've seen some boys do this shit. One girl, man, I find one and then I just date her. I take her places. I go all the places with her. Fuck that. Man, get you a few things. See what that's about. You can start eliminating some of these motherfuckers, man, because they eliminate themselves. Or you can find what you actually looking for. Weed their ass out. Boom. I can work with this right here. Man, ride that out for about 6-7 months, man. Then you never know. You might move on with that. You might move on to something else. You might.
You know what, Alaric? I want you to stop. See, guys like Alaric who have 15 women, it's different.
See, but you need this. You need this part of the game.
Some of us ain't built. Some of us ain't built.
No, some of us ain't. You're right.
That's why we get that one girl and try to take them out 5 times.
I'm somewhere in between these two gentlemen. So my name is Jamall. I'm married 5 years. I've been told that I'm a newlywed, so whatever. But I think the ing on the date is kind of paramount to what my brother Alaric is saying. We're dating.
Yeah.
Dating means I'm dating maybe multiple people. I think if you're in a one-person dating, you're kind of, you go together. So there's like a difference. So
I hate that term. I really hate that term.
When you brought that term, hey, can I speak on that? When you brought that term up, a motherfucker said you go together. Man, is this the fucking 8th grade? Man, no. That's fuckboy material right there. A nigga start talking about go together?
Yeah.
No, baby. No. Run. Move the other way. That's not grown folk vernacular to convey the fact that we are in something committed. Go together.
Especially when you're like late 30s, early 40s, and you saying we go together. Like, huh?
If I done paid some bills in your motherfucking house, man, go together? Are you serious? Fuck out of here. That doesn't match. That doesn't match.
Can I just say one thing?
Faythe, if anyone else uses that, walk away.
Well, listen, when men say dating, they mean they're paying for shit. When women say dating, they mean they're having sex with someone who they're not with exclusively. It's used 2 different ways.
Interesting.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, my take was going to be, I wanted to know, and I know y'all trying to get our perspective. That's why the men are here today or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to get a take on what you guys view as dating and what we view as dating. Because I got to agree with what Rock is saying, or Arkiem was saying. You have to say, like, well, okay, we're dating. So I'm having fun. I don't want to get beat up for saying the wrong thing here. Y'all got me walking on eggshells already.
Boy, you better goddamn let it go, man. Stop all that goddamn eggshell dipping and telling man.
But I'm saying, if we say, okay, I'm dating, so that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever you have in your harem or whatever. But on the flip side, women do the same thing. Y'all have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the harem as well. So
So wait a minute.
Are we on the same page as to what dating is?
No.
So how many do you have? Because I've heard people say this. People have stables and they have stallions. Like that's some immature shit.
I mean, it's late.
It might be immature. It might be immature in the way that it's described. Right. But really what a motherfucker is saying that they have options. If you have options, you have some ways to go.
And we can leave.
But I need you to use your big boy words. Like you.
Oh, okay. Well, stop talking to motherfuckers that's talking about they go together with you. That's when you finna find somebody who got some big boy words. And you get some boys out here that got some real game in their life, man. Some of these boys have no game. They haven't really been around. Look, one thing I know about these 2 dudes that I'm talking to, I know these boys. I've been knowing these boys since we was teenagers. Y'all have seen the same stuff I've seen. 17. We've had an opportunity to be around a lot of women to develop the way that you're supposed to talk to people, the way that you're supposed to interact. Some of these boys don't have that. And I know it. I watch it. I be seeing it sometimes in the world now as I move around. So all this shit y'all talking about, they're out here. I done seen them in motion. I done heard them talk. And I'm like, that's how you get out? Nah, not me.
Faythe, did that guy who said we go together, he went to Morehouse, right?
That's the fact.
He probably went to the school with all boys. That's what happened.
When I was at Clark, I did go with someone at Morehouse, and he said we go together. But
it was more than one.
This is gonna come back to us in some way.
That was a ringing endorsement for you guys. Yes,
But listen, Jamall.
Wait a minute. I just have one question. Faythe, when you were with that Morehouse guy, was he wearing your clothes sometimes?
No.
You know what? You need to stop.
the ones you couldn't see.
Jamal made the best point. And this is why we're all in this predicament. Our perspectives are so different. And until we get on the same page, we're not going to have a lot of clarity. So communication is honestly the best. But to me, dating means that I'm getting to know one person. That's what it means in my head, my world. I'm getting to know you. We're figuring each other out, and we're dating each other.
Because the way that you make it sound, and how eloquently you put it, Alaric, it's like you on The Bachelor. You know, they have a...
Well, I have to interject and say that it's probably the unpopular female opinion, but I think I'm geared more towards Alaric's way of thinking in the sense that like, if I'm dating, I'm getting to know several people, not necessarily sleeping with them. Now, let's put that on the record. Doesn't mean that I'm sleeping with them, but the intention is I'm getting to know several people. I'm narrowing it down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've met a couple people. I like you, but I don't really know what separates you from you. So my point is I'm dating to kind of figure it out. Now, once we get through that process and you decide, okay, well, I really like this person. Yeah. I think this is what takes us to what I consider what we talked about in the past podcast was courting. Because now I am exclusively dating, or I guess I don't want to say go out with, or what was it, go together with you. But like now I'm exclusively dealing with you. And I'm getting to know you and I'm learning about you and trying to see, okay, potentially, like, where can this go? And that brings me into the question that I have. And my question is geared more towards Jamall, just because I'm technically, I guess, a newlywed, also only being married for 4 years. So when did you decide that, you know, your now wife is the person that you wanted to date exclusively? And did you have a conversation with her about that? And what did that conversation sound like?
So, okay. Because what you said a lot of important stuff there. I think that at this, and then I'm going to ask you a question. I think that little girls and little boys are raised in two different ways, right? So little girls are raised to get married. That's what you guys are getting. We're raised to have as much fun as possible until it's time to get married, right? So the question that you're asking, so at what point do the boys turn men and say, okay, I'm going to get married. Like, this is the person for me. Is that sort of right? Because
man.
Married, but like, I mean, you should take her seriously to see if it potentially could lead to marriage. Because I mean, I think for the most part, we've probably all been in maybe some sort of long-term relationship that didn't end in marriage, but the intention was to see where it went past just we go into the movies every couple of nights. Whatever. Yeah,
I've been in a couple relationships like that where I've been like we lived together. Everything should have gone that way, and then something just went left, and it didn't work out. I think that with my wife. So my wife was. I think I was. We were talking earlier, whatever. But I had said that when I met her, I explained to her I'm dating other individuals, right? So she had full disclosure of everything that was going on. So because of that, and like I said, I figured out later that she used that against me. I shouldn't say it negatively, but that was because what happens is she said, oh, okay, he's telling me about he dates this girl or this woman or that woman. So now this allows me to put myself in a position whereby I know you because you're dating other people. And when we do that, we give different pieces of ourselves to different individuals. Very seldom does everybody get all of that, specifically when you're dating, right? But because I included her in that, she kind of was in a position where I was like, damn, I really can't come at her any kind of, crazy way. Mm-hmm. What stuck me to her was that, like, I'm a very family-oriented. I even got my family reunion T-shirt on. I didn't know I had this on.
Yeah, that's a player, Butters. I like that.
I appreciate you. So, but and her family, when I met them, were very oriented. It was just so many similarities between us that I knew that this could work. As far as the question that I think a lot of men ask is this a person? It's not so much just to say we're going to start courting, but can this person bear my children? Can I be with this person? Is this a person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life? Like, can I put up with it? Because I've heard some brothers say it ain't no women that don't get on my nerves at some point where I'm just like, I can't deal with it, right? Yeah. But you have to be able to go into it for the long haul. And likewise, y'all got to put up with our raggedy behinds also. Maybe more so than we got to do. So I think the tipping point was she was like with me dating and doing all this, when every time I turn around and look up, that was the person that was there because she knew everything. There was no moving her out of the way. So where there was this one, it was like, I don't like that about her. That's a pain. I don't like this one. She's sloppy or this or that. She always kind of stood strong, right? Amongst all these other people. So that in and of itself is what now you have my attention, right? You probably are going to be the one that I stick with. The other thing that was funny was that, you know, after she really got to the point where it was like, okay, we're courting and we're going to be serious, then she cut me off. Sexually, I mean. It's like, you know what? You jumping around, so if you want to do all, you want to be with me, then it's going to be with me. You can go out with them other girls and do all that. I won't get into if I went out with the other girls or not. That's not important. What's important is the way that we had to understand
with you, dog.
that
with you.
Her presence to me had validity, and my presence to her had validity. That's what got me to saying that this is what it is. So as far as the conversation was like, nah, you won't be getting to this till you get married. It's like, okay, whatever. So that, it was a few things. But I mean, and I like that about her because she put that on the table like, you know, this is, I'm that important. And if I'm that important to you, you put up with this for however long you want to put up with it for you to say that I'm going to be the one that you're going to stay with. And then wound up that way. You know?
And Butters, when that time came, when that point came, you made a decision. You started checking off all them other hoes like, nope, not her.
Yeah.
Like, they out of here. I can do without them, but I can't do without her. I know the feeling, bruh. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm also hearing you say, Jamall, that you were able to be your true self with her. She knew everything, cards were on the table, she accepted me, and I could be myself and okay with me.
Yes.
Heard. Yeah, which is nice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
any of y'all who have found a man who has been with you for a while, Kerri, you for sure.
Yeah.
You accepted some shit at a point in time like, hey, this is just who this motherfucker is. It ain't a deal breaker. But
exactly.
It's right. I'm not going to bitch about that. I'm not about to complain about that because it's some other shit. That's when you can make some motherfucking moves.
That is 100% real. Mm-hmm. Even this weekend, we went out of town and my husband was really like happy Friday, Saturday. Then on Sunday, he was just in his regular mood. And I was like, you know what? He's fine. And I'm fine. He's not bothering anybody. Let him do his own shit. We're all good. Because you get to a point of acceptance and you get to a point of really trying to really allowing that person to be who they are.
So,
Beautifully
anybody
said.
who has been with someone for an extended amount of time, you have put up with some shit.
Yeah.
The average motherfucker, they'll walk away from it. This is what, y'all want to talk that marriage shit and the way that relationships go? Yo, if you're not willing to put up with some shit from time to time, you ain't willing to have no fucking relationship.
Real. Yeah. Because people come with grimy, dirty, down low shit, and it's real because everyone has it.
Does anyone get Sam Jackson vibes when they hear Alaric?
No, well, now that you split it that way, yeah.
Absolutely.
I hear
that's all I'm going to hear now.
Yeah.
I love it. So with that being said, that was a great question, Tam. One thing I do want to say is I have known these gentlemen since I was 17. I know Alaric must have been early 17 and Rock was 17, but
I was 16 years old.
You were 16 because if we were 17, you were 16. Listen, I've known these guys for 27 plus years, and wow. I know it sounds amazing. It gives me chills to see that. But they've been stand-up folks. They've been consistent. They've been the same like I met them freshman year. So Rock wanted me to say we're going from Brawley Hall to men, right? From boys to men. And we really, you guys have. I want you to be decent men, great fathers, great for your community, and just great people. And you've been so consistent. You're like brothers, cousins, everything that could just be, wrapped up into one. But my question for you is, Jamall almost landed on it. So growing up, marriage has always been a big deal for young ladies, for girls. You grow up hearing about getting married, finding a perfect mate, happily ever after, that Disney bullshit that doesn't exist. And we know it doesn't exist. So I want to know, one, What were you guys taught about marriage as a male? Like, did you have that uncle or that parent or that mother or that father or that brother that said, you should be getting married or don't do it or it's going to, change you? So I want to hear from all of you guys. What did you hear about marriage growing up? And did you have any positive examples of marriage growing up?
The positive examples that I had were on television. So Heathcliff Huxtable, Jason Seaver, Mike Brady, a lot of those men are what informed me as to what marriage was supposed to be. I grew up my father was with me for whatever reason. Well, it's a reason I don't want to get into it, but I grew up in a single parent home. So I didn't grow up, no one, as a matter of fact, I don't remember ever going to a wedding until I became like a teenager. Yeah. So like husbands, there were no husbands on my mother's side of the family.
Wow.
Okay. So, but I did know that when I got older, I didn't want to be a single dad. I didn't want a baby's mother. I felt that having a wife was good if I wanted to raise a family and become a father. So I thought that was really necessary. I think as a young man growing up, I don't think men so much as want to be husbands. I mean, they don't want a wedding, but they want to have a family, and they want to have a family a certain way. Beautiful. So that's what I thought marriage was. I thought marriage was about stability. As I got older, I also realized that marriage was also about building wealth together, getting things together, doing things together as a team, right?
Nice.
So that's what I kind of thought of when it came to marriage. I didn't have a lot of role models when it came to marriage. It was a lot of just single. Now, I mean, when I think about it, and a lot of the stuff that with our men is we sort of don't get any of this sort of mental help.
Yep.
So what you find is a lot of this trauma and a lot of these, everything isn't trauma, but a lot of the trauma in our past experiences, we haven't even been educated about or healed from. So if you grow up and not seeing marriage, you don't understand what marriage really is. And then you get caught up thinking that marriage is like a 28-minute sitcom and you're going to have some ups and downs and everything's going to be solved in a half an hour. And you realize you're still mad at your wife for throwing out your favorite jacket from 15 years ago.
Amazing that you say that and brilliantly said. And before I get to the other guys, it's so funny you say that because we don't have the 28 minutes to come. We don't have the Cosby Show. We don't have the Growing Pains. We don't have the Family Ties. A lot of the shows that we had now or for the past 15, 20 years were not as positive or family oriented. So can you imagine the images that a lot of people see or grew up in when they have no other external factors? So that's deep. That's a whole nother show, but I'm glad you brought that up because again, I watch those shows, right? We watch Too Close for Comfort and Growing Pains and Cosby Show and all that stuff. And it really did influence us, especially our generation. That made us go to HBCUs. That made us want to do things. So these kids that are watching, not Moesha or I don't even know half of these other shows. What are they?
They're watching Modern Family and stuff like that.
Perhaps. Or they're watching freaking Ozark. I don't know.
They're watching Stevie and Jocelyn on Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop. They're watching,
Alaric is laughing. Alaric, you go. Tell me.
Hey, so insofar as did I have any positive examples of people marriages growing up? It damn sure with my mama and daddy's because they got divorced when I was probably like 6. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a motherfucking fact, without nobody having to tell me, that had an effect on me and the way that I deal with women. I know this. Yeah. So with that said, I did have an uncle. I do have an uncle. My uncle and my auntie been married for the better part of my life. The better part, I think they might have got married in like 78. I was born in 75. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So,
all your life.
And to go with Rock's point, the whole thing about if you get married for sex, boy, you losing. You losing. It ain't about fucking. I promise you it ain't about that. Not saying you don't get the fuck, but it ain't about that. Building wealth, building a family. That is grown man shit. I can't understand how in the fuck some of these motherfuckers are getting married at 19, 20. You know what the fuck I was doing at 19 and 20? I was running through hoes. Are you fucking kidding me? There's no way. I couldn't have had no babies. I couldn't have had no marriage. It wasn't going to happen. So look, if you understand what you're getting into, if you've done some of the things that I've done and get to a point where like, hey, look, it's enough of that. I can't do that no more. I need to do something else. Now, what's the next step? You better find something that's going to accept what you said, Jamall. It's going to accept some of that back shit. Hey, look. Hey, straight up. I used to do some real ignorant shit back in the day. Hey, that ain't got shit to do with you right now. But I did. Be straight up. Don't be a fuck boy. That was the last segment. Don't be a fuck boy. If you be a fuck boy, you're not going to get to the marriage term. You're not going to get to that point where you're able to share and allow someone else to give a fuck about your bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
that's what marriage is about. Somebody giving a fuck about your bullshit.
Or if I can interject,
please,
you'll be like 60 and look around and be like, dang, what did I do with my life?
I'm alone.
I'm alone. I don't have anyone to do whatever.
I know some people like that. I know some people that's going to be like that. It's just look, I'm not going to be like that. It's not going to happen.
That's right.
It's not going to happen because
they're the players in the club with the alligator shoes.
No, not that guy. Hey, I already told motherfuckers, hey, if you ever see me with some shorts on, with some dress socks, dress shoes on, hey man, go tackle me, man, and put a bullet in me.
You're done. You're done. You're out. We put you out your misery.
That's crazy.
Jamall, what were you taught about marriage as a male, growing up?
So me, like I said, we had a big family. I think with us, or my family anyway, was my experience. It was more like, so my grandparents was always married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so every year I go to South Carolina, I see that. I think Rock said was very paramount to it because also.
Hold on, where you said where your grandparents from, bro?
We Black, baby.
South Carolina, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
From the South?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So,
all right, go ahead.
But you gotta understand, those type of marriages, regardless if you want to kill that person in their sleep, it wasn't no divorce. Nobody.
Bruh.
Right?
I got aunties and uncles. I got an auntie and uncle who have both shot each other and are still married to this motherfucking day.
Hey,
I want to call it love, Alaric, but I don't know if that's love.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's working for them though.
All of us know them old
Thin line between love and hate.
They hit different. No doubt.
Where did they shoot each other? That makes a difference. Like
below the knee.
I think it might have been like a leg shot, but below the
that's
knee.
love.
I just want to hurt you. I don't want to kill you.
I need you to understand my point.
My point across.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. But I think like with me, I saw my grandparents, so I had an idea of what marriage was. And my parents had me when they were young, like they was like 17, 18. Just come out. And I'm old enough to know, like, I was at my parents' wedding.
Yes.
I remember, not like it was, they got married with a shotgun wedding. Like, I was there at the wedding. Oh, bro. 7, 8 years old?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's recognizable age.
Right. So, at some point, that didn't work out, and my parents split. I think the biggest thing with me, my takeaway from that was I never wanted to be away from my children or this or that. And I can't say that that's 100% what it is because I have another child. Like, he's, how old is this guy? 25, 24?
Right.
No.
And it wasn't because it just, it's just, I wasn't in a state of mind. Having a child like 2021, regardless if you know it or not, you're still a kid.
Correct.
You don't know nothing. You haven't lived life. You don't know how to take care of your damn self. Now you got to take it. So it just didn't work out. For goodness sake, I still have a good relationship with him in his life and all that good stuff, and that's great. But with my wife and my daughter now, it's a completely different thing, right? And my daughter's birthday is Friday, brother.
Oh, happy birthday.
Hey.
It's going to be 1 or 2?
Thursday.
Oh, my God.
Thursday. Hey. We was thinking.
Your birthday Thursday?
Yeah, we was thinking about some of that same shit at the same time, boy. But then after Thanksgiving, pussy, boy, I already know, boy.
But what's wrong with my brother? But I think that I had that. There was something still to me that I always want this to work, and that's why I go back to the thing about telling my wife like this is what everything is, because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time. If we just having fun and doing whatever, that's fine, great. But at the same time, you have to want to have a family. I have a lot of family members that don't want to have families. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you say
Absolutely.
like you mentioned you're going to be 60 and by yourself. Some people don't care. Like I want to be by myself. So it turns into an individual thing. So I think the point that we're saying, like what Rock was saying, like us watching families on TV and this and that, society kind of shows to you what you're supposed to be doing. And in a lot of respects, this is why you have issues with relationships and people, because you're thinking you're supposed to be doing something you're not. So same thing like with reality TV or whatever. I'm supposed to be a player. And I'm supposed to be out here doing all this. You're supposed to do what you supposed to do. Whatever's the best fit for you to be your best person or best self, that's what you should do. And you should want to be able to make your better self, make your partner their best self. So the thing is, it's not about we dating and what can I take from you and what can she take from me.
Right.
We should be able to give each other things to some degree, right? Now, and with that being said, I got to stay as much Jamall as fucking possible. I'm sorry to say, right?
Please do. All this goddamn technical, clinical shit.
Huh?
All this technical, clinical shit, man. Give it the real, man.
That's right. You have to remain Jamall.
But what I'm saying to you is that that's what it is, because marriage and wanting to be married is two completely different things. It's not the same. Because once you get married, it's like, what the fuck? And I had a pastor tell me one time. He said, if you've been married and you ain't never said, I'm getting the fuck out of here, you ain't really, it's not real.
You have not been tested.
No, you have not.
Nobody married that just every day they wake up like what's the name? The Cleavers and shit, and everybody happy and fixing breakfast and shit in the morning.
Right.
It don't work like that.
So I think the overall thing is you gotta want to be married, you gotta get married and want to stay married, right?
Yes.
And you gotta be willing to put in the work that it takes to stay married. Because think about it, I mean, men and women. If Idris Elba came in here, let me put some heat under y'all seat right now. If Idris Elba came and stepped y'all right now and said, you know what, leave him. I can take care of you, girl. Would you leave? If your man is back, don't answer though.
Let me tell you something beautiful about this. I've been married for 21 years, and my husband knows my male Hollywood crush is Idris, so he is aware, and that's how transparent we are. So I would say no, I would remain with my husband, but my husband knows that there's a chance I would go with him for a night.
I may come back, but I'm gonna go for a little bit.
It is.
Y'all gonna use the whole can he get a hall pass?
Listen.
Can he get all? That's another show, Jamall. We focusing on marriage and boys right now.
It's not about us. We already did our show.
Hello. We want to hear you.
I have to interject and make it
That's
go.
beautiful. I love it. And it sounds like you are ready, though. At the end of the day, marriage is very complicated, but it's such a beautiful process because you have the opportunity of being married to your best friend, which sometimes hits you in the ass, but it
Hold on. This married to your best friend shit.
Yeah.
That's a great sounding thing, but hey, the first time you get married, that ain't always the case. That ain't. You might become best friends.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That's true.
Ain't no girl, ain't no woman that I've just met or been with for no fucking 3 or 4 months finna know all of the nutty shit I done did to be my best partner.
No, hey,
But
can I just
that's
say something? Can I say something?
Please. You're right.
That marriage to your best friend thing, I married my best friend, but that's more of a woman.
Why you been married a long fucking time?
Hold on, but let me just say this. When you're married, that friendship ends.
Really? It changes.
It changes.
Touching on that,
No longer, no, not even when
Okay,
you're
but
married.
why does it end? I want to hear what he says. Why does it end?
When you start dating, you have different rules than you would have for your best friend.
Yes.
So that already, you can't tell the person you're dating everything that's on your mind. You can't tell the person you're married to your deepest fears and stuff like that. It's a different relationship. And women say again?
Especially if it relates to them. There's certain things that are about them that you can't really go to them.
Man, please don't even those kind of
right there.
But listen, that whole thing about women wanting to have them is because they want their husband to also be their girlfriend. And they don't understand. We not your girlfriend. I don't really need to be talking to you for 20 minutes about what you saw in Love and Hip Hop.
Hey, look here.
That's why you gotta have your girlfriend.
Go to that point right there. Hey, it's sometimes, I promise you, I'm going to say it because these motherfuckers married. I'm not married yet. It's sometimes your woman talking to you about some shit in your head. You like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. But you can't say it.
Correct.
You gotta listen. Okay, yeah, that bitch did that. Real? She tried you like that? Okay. No. Hey, that's when you start getting into that realm. You start understanding. It's like when Luke raised that goddamn X-Wing fighter out of the Dagobah swamp. He knew he was on some real shit then. You like, oh, I got a different mind state. Okay, I can listen to that bullshit and then watch the game. Okay, I got something going on here.
Okay, well, I might have said it. I might have phrased it incorrectly. Let me tell you what I really meant then. The beautiful process of this is that you're with someone that is not going to leave you no matter how bad it can get if you guys are really in it. Meaning through death, through good, through health, through sickness, through all that stuff. Meaning, like my father died. My husband was my biggest support. He was there. When his mother died, we made some hard decisions and I did it as a supportive factor. I could get up and say stupid shit like I just threw up all over the bathroom. I need you to help me clean it up. So yeah, maybe best friend terminology, isn't it? But you have someone in your corner that is going to be there no matter what.
Your partner.
Absolutely.
That's your partner.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that partner is. Maybe not.
Everyone is looking for that. Everyone wants
but you're right. He's not my best friend. I can't say, how does the skirt look? He'd be like, it looks like shit. And I'd be like, oh my God, you're so
right.
I tried that shit. I tried to be truthful. Like, some of y'all partners, y'all should say something. Y'all have seen y'all girl put on some shit and be like,
yes. So
but you go out with her anyway and let her look a goddamn.
No. I like to say he's the nightmare of the best friend. Like he'll be like, "Don't post that food on the internet. That shit looks nasty." I'll be like, "Shut up! I'm gonna post it. It's my stuff." But best friend was not the right term. It's really having someone in your back, no matter how nasty and disgusting and grimy you are. That I'm gonna love you.
I have a question though.
That's it there. No matter how disgusting and fucking grimy you are, they still fuck with you.
They say like nothing happened.
They've seen your drawers. Oh my God. I still fuck with you after I done seen your goddamn drawers. Oh man,
exactly. But say like nothing happened. Yeah.
I got a comment though, because, and I don't know because I've never been married, but you have to have each other's back, but you also go into it not necessarily being, your best friend, because that's just like that Jerry Maguire, you complete me.
Correct.
Like no one complete, because you should come to me completed. So
correct.
You have
No, we're nowhere near complete.
Nowhere near it. If you married us anywhere between 19 and 40.
No, 19.
You got to.
That's where I went wrong.
49.
Yeah, you got to run that project.
19 years old. He's saying 19.
Let me say
because if I have to deal with my own self.
No,
how am I going to deal with you?
But I feel like everybody's a work in progress, though, because I don't think that I'm complete either. So it would be unfair for me to expect that I'm with somebody that's also complete. But I think as long as you're willing to work on it, there's a difference between thinking you're okay where you're at and you don't want to grow and you don't want to move on and you don't want to do anything different. But I do feel like we're all work in progress. As long as you're working towards being whatever the closest you can get to being complete is, then that's okay. I'm a ride with you. Like, we're going to both get there.
And I think the definition,
but not
the
a
definition
ride.
of complete that Faythe is talking about, we've talked about this before, is walking into a relationship, maybe not necessarily a finished product. We all should be somewhere in evolution. I mean, you should just constantly be trying to evolve and grow as a person. But me and Faythe have had this discussion a lot about coming into a relationship, not expecting the other person to be some missing puzzle piece for you. You should walk in as whole as you can be. Right. Because once you do that, you're setting the relationship up for failure. Because if you're someone that is working on yourself and evolving, you're going to change. That's something that we addressed in the marriage segment that we recorded previously, where we talked about the fact that you do change. And the idea is to stay committed to the person as they change, recognizing that who you married at 19 is going to be vastly different from who you are at 45. Ideally, you're growing parallel to one another and just kind of staying in lockstep with one another as you're growing and evolving. But looking for that person to come in and plug a hole and just be the missing piece is usually the start to a...
Can I just say, everybody come with baggage. That's just
sure.
What
I understand that.
Thing is, but hold on, let me say this. My thing is, and I'm not trying to beat you up this way, right? I think that with some women, there's this thing that, yo, if I'm gonna be with you, then you need to be finished, right? I need to be able to go here, and Queen Elizabeth.
What?
And for many women, marriage is like the next degree.
Hold on. So what I'm saying is, you cannot come and say like this. Everything is set up, and I think, and maybe it's us as Americans, but this whole thing about convenience, like I can go to McDonald's and pick something up 1, 2, 3. It doesn't work like that. Everything maybe sometimes you gotta cook up to make it right. You understand what I'm saying? You need to add a little spice.
I 100% agree.
So it gets better. Even if staying on that analogy, if you a chef, you constantly trying to get better, or whatever you are, you constantly trying to get better. You cannot come and say, well, you're not complete. Oh, I don't have time for you. What if that person that's not complete is making you a better person in their incompleteness? So
exactly. I agree with you.
Huh?
I do agree, Jamall, but my thing, I guess, is that you don't have to be totally complete, but don't depend on me and be like, well, you complete me. Like, that's just like a dude saying, okay, you complete me. Like, how do
let me tell y'all something. I'm going to say this quick before my wife comes in here with the baby, because she might go berserk or something. Anyway, so this is the deal. We went to counseling, right? And I'll never forget. The counselor said to us, or said to me, what was it exactly that she said? She said something to the effect of, y'all are one now, right? You're married. And I'm like, okay. So you talk about one, like if I mix water and Kool-Aid, or one like the oil and the water is in the cup together, because it doesn't mean that we not together. We still in the same cup, but sometimes we just not gonna mix. And I think what happens is there's this propensity that you want to shade stuff off of this person to make them better to what you want them to be. The same person you met that you fell in love with or you liked, that's who the hell they was when you liked them. So why is it now that he got to change?
Butters, I'm gonna tell you why. Because women think they're making you better.
But
so they think, no, yes, they do. So what happens is a woman thinks that she has her stuff together, and now she can entertain a relationship, and now she is going to make everyone else better. So she usually thinks she has it all figured out, and that you are the work in progress. You're the project. So she says, look, I like Butters. Butters cool. You know what? With Butters, he's a 7, but with me, he gonna be a 9.5.
Right.
They really think they're bringing value.
You have to have the conversations though, because I feel like if you're with somebody that doesn't admit that they're a work in progress too, then that's the problem right there. Because
but don't be with that person. We have these standards and things that we set up, and that's what I said.
Butters, put your camera up. Put your camera up. Let me see the bottom of your face.
All right, so hold up. The whole process of dating is for you to hash out all of these bugs, right? Like I said, once you get to a certain age where, like, I think Kerri was like, well, Jamall, you seem to have been ready to get married. That's what it is. I'm not going to waste my time. And you don't got to be nasty about it. It's like, you're not a good fit for me, right? So I'm not going to waste my time with that. You all jacked up and you don't know what's wrong with you. I don't have time to figure out what's wrong with you. I'm going to move on.
Butters, you get with a woman and guess what? She $20,000 in debt. They don't be talking that real stuff. They make it seem like they got it together because they bought a bedroom set. But then when you get into the numbers, you're like, yo, your FICO score is 7. What's going on? But they look good on it. Here's what I'm saying. Fellas usually are rough on the outside, but got to have their stuff together on the inside, right? Some money in the bank, a job, da-da-da. Women,
but then they don't talk about other things, though. There are other things that they don't talk about, like
emotional
you're dealing with that you don't want to talk about that are also going to cause problems. So that's what I'm saying. Nobody is coming into any situation complete. Like my credit score is 7, we got daddy issues, but like there needs to be like the conversation especially in the courting phase of it. Like I need to know that your credit score is shit before we get married. I don't want no surprises when we try to buy a house, but you have to ask those questions. I'm going to ask you, what's your credit score?
Hey,
Tamara, you got to talk to your ladies because they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, because
No, I know they're not. I'm not saying that they are. Trust me, because I got friends.
Hold on, Alaric. Let me just say this. The women, when you meet them, they don't tell you how many bodies they got.
Fuck no, they don't.
But are men going to say that? Are they
Y'all don't ask.
Hold on, yes we do. Yeah, hold on.
Hold
We shouldn't have to ask. We just don't want to run into the dude at dinner. So they don't tell you the bodies.
Like, a lot of times, though, like, be honest, though. You want to have the conversation, and you say you want to know, and you ask a girl, like, okay, how many bodies you got? And she say anything more than 2, 3, now you looking at her funny.
Not in our
That
40s.
means 25.
Guys.
Not in our 40s. But
Guys.
if you got your age times 5,
Well, I mean, that's an exception.
Listen.
That's a different role.
I'm 37. If I got anything times 5, that's a problem. But
Listen, at the end of the day, no one is perfect. Everyone has a lot of working to do. However, there's different levels to this relationship thing. The levels of maturity is what's important. So I was married at 24. So at 24, my priorities were different. I was different. And we have managed to stay together and grow together. I don't look at him every day like, who is that damn stranger? Goddamn, I'm killing tonight. It's over. I'm looking at him like he's changing. I'm changing. We're not necessarily saying, but had I been a woman at 40 now out there looking for a marriage, I would be different. So it's like two different people.
But can I say something? Let me interject in saying that as a person in their 40s that's not married, if I'm working on myself, meaning I'm going to therapy, I'm trying to be the best Faythe that I can be.
Yeah.
Don't come with that BS. I need you to see somebody too, because you ain't got your stuff together. And
I respect that. I respect that.
So,
not everyone's ready.
I don't need ghosts walking through. I don't need any of that. Like, let's bring it all to the forefront.
that's why you state your expectations at the beginning. You ask them, like, are you there?
We've talked about that too.
Talked about that too.
Expectations.
The same way y'all don't want to hear about. We don't want to hear about your bodies. Y'all don't want to hear what we really want that first time we speaking to you. Ain't nobody met you on Monday talking about they want you to be their wife on Tuesday.
No,
so
but when you get to the point where we're courting, this is not the first date. This is not, we done talked for a few months. I've eliminated everybody else. You've done the same thing. Now I'm going to ask you.
Okay, that's fair.
You got to have the right one. You got to have the right person that's going to give you the conversation that you need. And look, anybody can tell you what you want to hear. Are you going to give you the conversation that you need? What I like to call it is your creamy middle. Dog, is that not what it is, fellas? Look, you open yourself up, that portion of you. You'll tell them something that don't just be some you'll tell just some you just done knocking down from time to time. It's a different thing.
But if you say, Alaric, if you say that, then I'm the type to be like, okay, just kind of like red flag or whatever. Like, if we can work it out, we can work it out. But if we can't talk and have a conversation and break it down like, hey, I'm going to therapy. Hey, are you going? Do you have stuff that's going to... Because I don't want you to have PTSD when we finally come together and you try to do something like...
Everybody got PTSD.
But I
want to know what yours is up front, though.
I'll be like this.
Don't mess with that PTSD.
This is not what I signed up for.
I'll tell you this, though. I'd rather have gotten married early the way I did when I had less baggage.
Yeah.
And we were more flexible.
Yeah.
To adjust. Although I would say I would be more mature and wiser and probably do things differently to come to the same conclusion, I would not like to go in this game at 45 that I am right now because...
Girl.
No.
Girl.
It's wrong.
At that age,
like I'm taking trade. Look at me.
I'm almost out.
Yeah,
I had to sip on that one.
I needed a refill, y'all. I mean,
yeah. So I have a perspective that's a little different because I've been on both sides of it. I was with my soon-to-be ex-husband since I was a teenager, and we now have 5 children together. year ago, actually, we're on the anniversary of a year ago when we and him actually officially split. So relationship's over. I'm heading towards a divorce. So now here I'm back in the dating scene, which is foreign to me because how he and I dated is just, you hang out with somebody X amount of time, they're your boyfriend. That's how things were done back before. Now the scene, and I do agree with you. I do. No, yeah, no. So now you do date multiple people. You cast a wide net and you sort of weed people out, and your attention span's got to be short and quick, and just on to the next. As soon as you figure out somebody has a red flag or something like that. I try to be a lot more open, but I'm realizing people. It's all about expectations and managing expectations in today's dating scene. At least for me, it's just figuring out and trying to be as transparent as possible. What is it that you're looking for, so that we're not barking up the wrong trees here. Lots of people are honest. I'll be honest with you. And I do, someone said it earlier in this recording where it is when you're dating multiple people and you just sort of put it out there. I think as long as that's the case, it's a different scene. But for those of us like myself who'd rather be in a relationship with one individual, it's rough out here right now.
So let me ask you a question. Would you try to go get married again after this if somebody came back?
No.
Correctly?
100%. I've ruled out a second marriage.
You know what? And you know why?
That's not happening.
No, hold on.
Because I did it, been there, done that, and it failed.
So that's it, right?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to be in a long-term relationship with somebody.
She's also 1 year.
I would like that.
So I feel like ask her again in like 5 years. Right now,
no, people keep telling me that. People say that a lot, but I don't know.
Hey, look, Myrna, be out here fucking around in this wild shit. You knew about getting it in the 2000s and now, motherfucker, it's a whole nother ball game. Don't want to be out here in this monkey shit. I promise you.
Agreed.
No, yeah, at 40, at my age now.
No.
Dating.
Alaric, I swear to God, Alaric, you were pissing me off because your Facebook profile is so much goals. You look like you're having the time of your life, being single. I'm so confused with what you're saying now.
Alaric is
the single friends that mess you up.
First of all,
I'm not.
I mean, it could be fun, but it'll stress you out.
You don't know what you want from it, though. I guess is what it comes down to.
Right.
Yo, it was a point in time after I got divorced where I was able to play the single life, and I remembered I found out again who the fuck I used to be.
Amen.
When I was in that world.
I'm having a similar experience.
Yeah.
So, Alaric, I have a question for you.
Take that.
As a divorced, Alaric.
Run with it.
As a divorced person in the group, on the male perspective, I have a question for you. So, were you the individual that sought the divorce from your spouse, or did she ask for the divorce?
She told me what it was about to be. I saw it. It was something that was said, and then there was a whole thing that I saw that I was like, "Oh, I can't bring this back."
So that was going to be my follow-up question: is what was the moment you knew the relationship was over, whether you asked for the divorce or not? Like, what can you? You don't have to give specifics, but can you?
I can tell you exactly when. It was when I brought something to the table that he did not want to acknowledge, did not want to tackle, did not want to be associated with. And once that was brought to the table and she put her hands on me, that was it. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I see this is your pattern. I got to move around. So that every man knows when that time comes. However, you can circumvent and navigate around that time, but if that time is coming, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I describe it in my experience. I describe it as a can't unsee it. It's like something finally happened in our relationship where I reached my threshold. This tank is full. There's no going back. I gotta go. I'm out.
How long were you married?
Me?
Yeah, Alaric never gave us an introduction. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, man. Come on. All right.
We want to know.
Alaric. My name is Alaric, not Alaric, Larry. Larry.
I am Jackson.
Anyway, I'm from Houston, Texas. Anyway, I was married for 7 years and I think like 28 days, some shit like that. Anyway, I knew
to the days.
It was a steady progression. It was like something was said, something was done, and then it was like, yo, there's a whole nother venture going on here. Like, what the fuck is this? So, don't think that you don't understand when the time comes. It comes, it presents itself, and this is all retrospective. I can see it now. When I was in this, couldn't see it. I was fucked up, wanted to save my relationship. It was a whole fucked up thing. But once I moved out of it, see, that's why all of the shit y'all talking about, I could give you some shit on all that. But y'all got
You can come back.
But right. It's you know that time. You know the time when it's no longer salvageable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You just know it. You know it. You know when you've been with a girl long enough to understand he ain't gonna put up with nothing else that you got to say no more.
Okay. Thank you guys for being so transparent, so real.
Yeah, so I definitely opened my eyes to some things.
I know I learned a lot. And I'm sure the ladies have too.
Hey,
absolutely.
Got your ear. If you got my voice in your ear, I promise you're going to hear something that you like. I promise you.
I hope this isn't the last time. I hope that you all will come back and serve some of your knowledge.
It's been amazing. Yeah.
It was really...
The energy is amazing, and I can't wait to hear some of your perspectives on other things, including, raising children, even sex. I mean, there's just so much things that this relationship things breathe. But you guys have been amazing. It's been nice to hear.
I want to know, what is the name of your podcast? Can you say it again?
You're on mute or something. Your earbuds.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear me at all?
Now we
can.
Busting up, man. Come on, man.
The Rockcast.
He's so low. The Rockcast. The Rockcast is on SoundCloud.
Rockcast.
And it's actually pretty good.
I'm going to send you guys.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, send me the link because I think
it's fun. It's fun. It's so political. It's so real time. It's amazing about the current events. Yeah,
definitely. I'd have to check it out, and I hope you guys like us. Continue listening, and come back.
Our page on Facebook.
Yes, like our page on Facebook.
Come back anytime.
Next week is going to be our season finale, so we're going to wrap up the season. But thank you, everyone, for listening to Unapologetically Fierce with Faythe. We are not just a podcast, we are a movement.
Thank you for joining us at Unapologetically Fierce with Faythe, brought to you by CKJ Live. Come back and visit again to hear more of the unfiltered tea that we are ready to dish. And remember, we are not just a podcast, we are a movement.